The former president of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, who was convicted a few weeks ago on 34 felony counts by a jury in New York, has now gotten presidential immunity in some of the cases. The Supreme Court decided to hand down the election interference case back to the lower court judge. The Supreme Court of the United States ruled that Trump has some immunity, making him less likely to face trial in the election subversion case before the November 2024 election. This is another big win for Trump after he trashed Joe Biden at the first presidential debate just a few days ago. Once again, Trump has proven unstoppable and he remains the preferred candidate by a vast majority of the American population. Listen to Fox News analysis of the situation and please subscribe to this channel, like and share. Thank you. We'll see you in our next one. Bye.
On the final day of its term, the Supreme Court handed down a blockbuster ruling affecting not only Donald Trump, but possibly all former and future presidents. Fox 11's Marla Tea is here with the ruling on presidential immunity.
Christine, this decision came down along ideological lines, and for now, former President Trump's election interference case remains on hold. In one of the biggest cases of the year over presidential immunity, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 that former presidents are granted broad protections for official acts taken while in office, but do not have immunity for unofficial acts. Trump celebrated this decision on Truth Social as, quote, a big win for our Constitution and for democracy.
And it's a dangerous precedent.
President Biden, addressing the nation Monday night, slammed the ruling.
Today's decision almost certainly means that there are virtually no limits on what a president can do.
Chief Justice John Roberts, writing for the majority, saying the president is not above the law, but, quote, may not be prosecuted for exercising his core constitutional powers. In the dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor argued the decision, quote, makes a mockery of the principle foundational to our Constitution and system of government that no man is above the law. Many Democrats also blasting the ruling. Senator Richard Blumenthal calls the court out of control, saying it makes his stomach turn.
The Supreme Court said, I'm giving you a test to apply.
Legal analyst Lou Shapiro, with us at 6 o'clock, says the ruling makes it almost impossible for special counsel Jack Smith's election interference case against former President Trump to go to trial before the November election. That case now heads back to the lower court to decide what actions in Smith's indictment can be classified as official duties.
You as a trial judges apply the test that we're given this. We'll call it the core constitutional test. And you apply it. And based on the application of that test, you can decide which charges, if any, can apply in a criminal case against a former president.
So right after today's ruling, Trump's team requested a delay for his sentencing date in his hush money trial. That is scheduled for next week, but his lawyers argue some evidence, including Trump's social media posts posted during his time as president, should have been excluded from the trial because of immunity protection. So far, no statement, no reaction from the Manhattan District Attorney tonight as far as that request goes.
On to the timing of all of this. President Trump has given a statement to Fox News Digital in the wake of this decision. I'll read it for you here, and Jonathan Turley, get your take on it, the other side. Former President Trump said, I have been harassed by the Democrat Party, Joe Biden, Obama, and their thugs, fascists, and communists for years, and now the courts have spoken. This is a big win for our Constitution and for democracy. Now, I am free to campaign like anyone else. We are leading in every poll by a lot, and we will make America great again. So that's his take, although I mentioned earlier, there's another date on the calendar. This is his July 11th sentencing in New York. And I agree, Jonathan, with him when he says, I'm free to campaign like anyone else. Will that be true at the end of the day on July 11th as well?
Well, I would hope that the judge in New York would not impose a jail sentence because I don't think it's warranted under New York law. But this case is not over. Jack Smith is not going to go quietly into that night. I want to note two other aspects of this opinion to complete this circle. The court deals with the so-called fake electors issue. And it says, look, that question in dealing with state officials is not something that we see as falling within these core areas. And so the district court's going to have to look at those communications to determine to what extent there is this immunity, presumptive or not, that might apply. But then it also talks about President Trump's January 6th speech and all of his tweets. And the language there seems quite favorable towards President Trump and says that presidents are expected to speak forcibly on issues, that are important to citizens. And it really puts an emphasis on the fact that this is something that presidents do. Many of us believe, certainly I do, that President Trump's speech was entirely protected under the First Amendment. But the court is also saying this is a function of what presidents do on matters that divide the public. So on that, you have another section that's going to help out the Trump team dramatically in front of the district court. The one area that might be a sticky point is going to be the electors issue. Yeah. And even Trump's counsel in front of the court acknowledged that that was going to be a tougher one. But otherwise, this is a very good day for the former president. This opinion is quite favorable on most points.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.